If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my story. Your support helps us continue sharing hidden tales of love and loss. Let's build a community where every broken heart finds a voice. Thank you for being part of this journey. Later that night, she returned, her gentle knock echoing through the stillness. Despite the whispers of caution in my heart, I opened the door. And then, the unexpected unfolded. The tattoo artist gently urged her to leave, as if their moment had come to a bittersweet end. He uttered the words that pierced the air, declaring she could not remain by his side. A soft smile graced my lips as I gently closed the door, silence enveloping us. Her voice, filled with desperation, called out for me to let her return, but I chose to extinguish the light that illuminated the threshold between us. In that moment, the world outside faded away, leaving only the echoes of our hearts. May everyone be wrapped in warmth and joy. Dearest friends, I trust this message finds you in good spirits. We return once more, eager to share another enchanting tale from our cherished subscribers. Should you wish to weave your own story into our tapestry, please send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. We await your heartfelt narratives with open arms. I'll share it on the screen, a heartfelt invitation to truestorynation@gmail.com. Whether it's a tale filled with laughter or a journey of overcoming struggles, your story holds the power to resonate with someone else. Just imagine, as one person listens to your experiences, they might find solace in your triumphs. If you can touch that one soul, you've fulfilled your purpose. Now, would you like to share your wisdom with the gentleman on how you achieved your success, and the steps that led you to this beautiful moment? In the quest for discovering one's true purpose, tales of inspiration and heartfelt advice beckon to be shared. So, dear friends, feel free to send forth your stories and wisdom. With that said, let us delve into the essence of the title that awaits us. Let us embark on this journey together. Once upon a time, there was a tale waiting to be told, a narrative that belonged solely to me. He begins with a gentle, heartfelt greeting. As I embark on this journey through your YouTube channel, I find myself captivated by the enchanting content you share. It seems I am not alone, for many others who have joined this adventure feel the same delight. My heart once knew the pain of a love that faltered, a union that unraveled under the weight of betrayal. I believe that sharing my journey might illuminate the path for others navigating similar storms. So let your heart speak and share it freely. Yet, I find solace in the shadows, reminiscing about the enchanting days of the 90s. In the tender bloom of my early 20s, I encountered a girl who would forever alter the course of my heart. Her name was Faith, a name that whispered promises of hope and virtue. We embarked on our journey together, young and naive, bound by a love that felt destined. Yet, as we navigated the trials of life, we found ourselves grappling with the weight of reality, our finances stretched thin, forcing us to mature in ways we never anticipated. In a world where love knows no bounds, I found myself willingly surrendering everything for her. I toiled endlessly, embracing the weight of 2 full-time jobs, all while navigating the bustling city on public transport. Each sacrifice was a testament to my devotion, as I ensured she had the freedom to chase her dreams with the single car we shared, knowing that her part-time job held a special place in her heart. Her happiness was my guiding star. She cherished the idea of love that transcended mere practicality, valuing the warmth of companionship over the cold comfort of financial stability. A happy wife, after all, was a treasure beyond measure. In the quiet moments of our shared life, I found myself taking on the roles of both chef and caretaker, as she seemed to dance around those duties, not out of disdain, but perhaps a gentle reluctance. It was clear to anyone who looked closely that I was utterly captivated, lost in the depths of her charm. Faith, with her ever-changing aspirations, sought out new paths that would embrace her unique spirit, and in time, I came to understand that her quest was for places that welcomed her radiant essence, her undeniable grace. In the shadows of my life, I found myself unaware of the deeper currents that flowed around me. I toiled in roles that brought little joy, like a telemarketer, and endured other jobs that felt like burdens too heavy to bear. Yet, through it all, my heart beat for the promise of a brighter tomorrow, where even the smallest coins could bring us closer together after the weight of our responsibilities was lifted. I embraced the struggles, believing it was my duty to protect and provide for my loved ones, for that is the essence of love, is it not? Though my friends held a certain indifference towards her, they welcomed her presence, for her essence had woven itself into the very fabric of my being. In my absence, she found solace in their company, sharing laughter and moments that I could not. Yet, I found peace in knowing she was cherished, even when I could not be there. She was surrounded by a warmth that filled her heart. In the quiet moments, I believed my friends were watching over her, ensuring she stayed safe from harm. If you happen to read this, Brian, perhaps it was fate that led you to leave the state. In those early years, our bond was not without its challenges, yet she appeared to cherish the love I poured into our connection. In my heart, I believed we had created a beautiful life together, with two precious twin girls who are undeniably ours. In the quiet moments of reflection, I realized that a transformation was necessary to secure a brighter future for us. With determination in my heart, I enrolled in classes, embarking on a journey to earn my degree and build a career that would elevate our lives. Fortune smiled upon me as I found a position with a prominent software company. One would think that this newfound success would bring her joy, more financial stability, more precious moments shared with her and our beloved girls. But in that moment, I started to sense a shadow creeping into our world. She seemed perpetually engulfed in a storm of anger and distraction. I attributed it to the weight of motherhood, believing it to be the burden she carried with grace. In a world where love often dances on the edges of chaos, she found herself torn between the tender embrace of motherhood and the relentless call of ambition. After the arrival of the twins, she chose to return to her career with a fervor that left us both breathless. The cost of childcare weighed heavily on our hearts, yet her passion for work ignited a spark within her. Faith, with her long hours and unwavering determination, forged an unlikely friendship with a man whose presence brought complexity into her life. Their late-night hangouts, filled with laughter and camaraderie, painted a picture of resilience. As she shared tales of her challenges and unpredictability of life, I found solace in her words, knowing that her gift for storytelling would always light our way through the shadows. In a moment of selfless devotion, I found myself watching over the little ones, allowing her the freedom to revel in the night. Though my heart wasn't entirely in it, I surrendered to the charm of her laughter, letting her dance with the allure of wealth and joy. As I busied myself with my tasks, the warmth of my wife's joy enveloped me, assuring me that all was well in our little world. In a twist of destiny, her workplace organized grand events, and I eagerly stepped forward to lend a hand, hoping to impress with my dedication. My efforts, though unpaid, drew me closer to a few souls at Faith's job, including her boss. Yet, as if the universe conspired against us, Faith made the sudden decision to leave her position without a word just a week later. At least the monstrous shadow that once loomed over her was no longer pulling her into the night. In a quiet moment, we found ourselves deep in conversation, where my beloved shared her heart's concerns. In the quiet moments of reflection, I found myself yearning for something more, questioning the very essence of my happiness in the past. Why did my heart ache for ambition when contentment was within reach? In the midst of my triumph, I found myself puzzled by the shadows that clouded her heart. It seemed that envy had woven its way into our lives, casting a veil over the joy of our twin daughters. My company, in a gesture of recognition, had gifted my region a journey to the sun-kissed shores of San Diego, a celebration of our shared victory in breaking the sales record. Yet, beneath the surface, it felt more like a bittersweet reward than a simple getaway. We were given the chance to invite our beloveds, yet for some inexplicable reason, my wife chose to stay behind, content in her decision. With a heart full of gratitude, I expressed my thanks to her for her unwavering understanding. The recognition from my company felt like a bittersweet melody, and the reward of this trip was a challenge I struggled to embrace. Even now, the thought of praise feels foreign to me, and I often find myself lost in the shadows of my own humility. Yet, the allure of this journey captivated my spirit, leading me to overlook the warning signs that danced around me. With my bags packed, I took flight, and San Diego unfolded before me like a beautiful dream. In a whirlwind of laughter and camaraderie, my co-workers introduced me to the fiery allure of tequila, a bold first sip for someone who had never danced with spirits before. The night blurred into a haze, but one vivid memory lingered, an enchanting waitress, her eyes sparkling with mischief, who had been weaving a spell of flirtation around me. Oblivious to her charms, I believed her kindness was simply that, unaware of the magnetic pull she had on my heart. My friends, however, whispered tales of her interest, while I remained lost in my own world, captivated by the evening's revelry. Upon my return, the airport greeted me with the familiar warmth of my wife, yet a shadow loomed in her gaze. I attributed her distress to the chaos of travel, but as we journeyed home, the weight of her words shattered my heart. She had lost her way emotionally. In that moment, the world around me faded, leaving only the echo of my brokenness, a love story that changed forever in the blink of an eye. I sat in the car, my heart heavy, whispering questions that danced on the edge of uncertainty, like who? When did it happen within the walls of our cherished home? In the quiet sanctuary of our bed, I sought solace in her words, hoping to unravel the mystery of her heart. Yet, she hesitated, avoiding the questions that danced on my lips. With a heavy heart, she shared her intention for a divorce. My instinct was to cling to the love we once shared, believing that if I poured my soul into it, I could mend the fractures that had formed between us. I found myself yearning for answers, yet all I received was an echoing silence. As we journeyed through those final 2 hours, the quiet enveloped us like a heavy fog. Memories began to swirl in my mind, each fragment revealing a deeper truth. I recalled the soda cans, remnants of laughter and late-night conversations, filled with the ghosts of her past. Her frequent visits to a family that never truly embraced me, their disdain lingering like a shadow. I had taken their precious daughter, and in their eyes, I was the intruder. And then there were her friends, the ones who stood by her side, a reminder of the world I could never fully enter. In the shadows of our once blissful love, she sought comfort in unfamiliar places while I toiled away, unaware of the storm brewing just beyond my reach. The whispers of betrayal began as mere murmurs, but soon they cascaded into a torrent of revelations that shattered my heart. Faith, the name I had cherished, had danced with temptation, entwining herself with the very souls I had welcomed into our lives. As I forged bonds with those who shared her world, their guilt became a heavy burden, threatening to unveil the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. While I labored for our dreams, she gave into emotional confusion, and in a cruel twist of fate, she confessed her heart now belonged to another, a tattoo artist who had captured her wandering spirit. In the quiet moments of my absence in San Diego, she found herself entwined in an emotionally complicated moment, confessing to a rendezvous that danced between the boundaries of love and desire. With a heavy heart, she revealed the secrets of a complicated entanglement, a fleeting moment shared with him and his friend. As she spoke, her voice trembled with the weight of her choices, and she promised that soon, she would leave the house that held our memories, marking a poignant turning point in our story. A sensation unlike any other washed over me, firm and unwavering, igniting a spark within my heart. It was a sensation unlike any I had ever experienced, a thrill that coursed through me. When we returned home, I gently conveyed that there was no need for her to linger in uncertainty, and with a dramatic flourish, I asked her to leave with her belongings, adding a touch of theatricality to the moment. I quietly unpacked my suitcase in the living room onto the living room floor, casting aside the suitcase from the lawn as well. Let it never be said. I lacked the grace of a true gentleman. As the night deepened, I found myself unable to resist the pull of her presence. She returned, her gentle knock echoing through the stillness, and despite my better judgment, I opened the door to her once more. I answered the call, and the words from the tattoo artist echoed in the air like a bittersweet melody. He told her to leave, declaring that he could never be with someone who had betrayed trust. A smile crept onto my lips as I quietly closed the door, letting the silence speak for me. Her desperate cries to return fell on deaf ears as I turned off the light, embracing the darkness. In the solitude of my home, I found my daughters and wept myself to sleep, the weight of the moment heavy on my heart. It was a struggle that felt insurmountable, a painful reminder of my worth, as the shadows of doubt whispered cruelly in my mind. The dawn of a new day brought with it the echoes of yesterday's heartache. In a moment of vulnerability, I reached out to my dearest friend, who, with unwavering devotion, dedicated the next 3 weeks to ensuring that my daughters and I were enveloped in comfort and care. His presence was a soothing balm, shielding me from the shadows of my past. As hidden truths emerged, some friendships faded away, but through it all, he remained steadfast by my side. A twist of fate spared you, Brian, from a more dramatic farewell, as it turned out to be merely a metaphorical parting. My ex wasn't well liked now that she wasn't with me and ended up living out of an old, rundown motel. I assumed full custody of my daughters and completely separated my finances. She tried multiple times to access my money. For some reason she thought losing me didn't include losing my money. Silly thought. More truths came out and the cheating was prolific. One specific case was when one of my toddlers was digging in a closet, found an envelope with love letters from an inmate at a state correctional facility. They were addressed to Faith with a different last name and detailed how they loved her visits and how it was so smart to pretend to be their wife so they could have some alone time while she was visiting someone she had an inappropriate relationship with in prison. 2. They talked about getting married when he got out. Fast forward 8 months later and some guy is standing outside my house looking nervous. He comes to the door and he's asking for my ex. I said she wasn't here. He said he was looking for her and told me his name, the same as in the love letters. In a moment filled with unexpected tension, I found myself reaching for my phone, dialing my ex's number to share the curious scene unfolding at my door. There he stood, a stranger with a hopeful heart, seeking her out. To my surprise, she had the audacity to ask me to cast aside this stranger for her sake, despite having moved on. I glanced at the man, his expression a mix of confusion and anticipation, and gently conveyed the truth. She no longer resided here, and her interest in him seemed fleeting. My heart held no anger towards him. Instead, it was a bittersweet reminder of what once was. He remained blissfully unaware of the ties that bound her to another, and in that ignorance, he felt a deep sense of betrayal. Their paths diverged, and while his life began to flourish, hers took a darker turn. She found herself entwined with a figure from the shadows, a person who influenced her negatively. The specifics of her struggles were lost to him, and in truth, he felt no desire to uncover them. He permitted only the briefest glimpses of their daughters, moments that she seldom honored. The weight of unfulfilled promises hung heavy in the air, as she refused to sever the bonds that held her captive, leaving him in a state of longing and uncertainty. I spoke of them. Months would pass in silence, a void where her laughter once danced. I found myself caught in a web of uncertainty, unwilling to engage in the game she played. After enduring the shadows of her tumultuous life, marked by a harmful partner and the loss of her car, she returned to me, seeking solace. My heart ached for her as I offered words of comfort, urging her to seek justice and reclaim her strength. That night, I opened my home, allowing her to rest on my sofa, while her friend Mika arrived, a beacon of support. As Mika held her close, I could see the weight of her sorrow lift, if only for a moment. I suggested she find refuge at Mika's, not wanting the past to linger in my space. Yet, the delicate balance of their hidden truths hung in the air, a reminder of the complexities of love and friendship. In a moment thick with tension, I sought to understand the bond between you two. My past love shot a piercing glance at Mika, her eyes wide with disbelief. The revelation struck like a thunderclap. She had become involved in a relationship that crossed inappropriate boundaries, leading to a violent confrontation that left her bruised. It was a cruel twist of fate, and though she should have sought help, a hidden part of me felt a flicker of understanding for the chaos that unfolded. I firmly told my ex that my home would never be a sanctuary for such turmoil. She was forming risky relationships. That is when she lashed out emotionally. She asserted her independence in a volatile tone, and there was nothing I could do about it. I calmly walked over to my phone. This was the pre-cell phone days, and started dialing the non-emergency number for the police. My ex stood defiant, but Mika grabbed her by the head and was asking her what the heck she was thinking. She explained she had no rights to be there and the police would surely involve her parents. My ex left, demanding I at least give her a few hundred and a hotel room. I closed the door without another word, and no money was given. Nice. I eventually got my ex to sign the papers. When she told me she was leaving the state, I said I needed full custody of the girls, physical and legal, so she wouldn't have to fly back if there was an emergency. She agreed. I didn't have to fight hard when she agreed to sign, and was just happy to have an excuse for why she was giving me full custody. So along with her signature, I reclaimed my dignity and have had a much better life. Once upon a time, I was a man filled with love and tenderness, but that version of me faded away long ago. It was over 25 years past when I discovered a profound truth: life is too precious to spend solely in the pursuit of another's happiness, especially when that devotion isn't reciprocated. There was a time when Mika and I shared a connection, a bond that sparkled with promise, yet shadows of competition often clouded our moments. She would remark on our journey, comparing our milestones with a hint of rivalry, as if the timeline of our love story was a race. Those memories linger, a bittersweet reminder of what was and what could have been. With a gaze that pierced through the veil of time, I confessed to her the depths of our shared journey, revealing a moment that had lingered in the shadows for a year. What was the duration of your endeavor in achieving that? In the stillness of the room, a gentle smile graced my lips as I turned to leave, the echoes of unspoken words lingering in the air. From that moment on, no comparisons dared to cross my mind. Thank you for being my confidant in this quiet moment. I hope you found joy in my tale. If you must assign me a name, feel free to call me Mark, a name as common as the love stories we cherish. It's curious how often people mistakenly call me Mark, a name that feels like a gentle echo of familiarity. Thank you for all that you do. Allow me to share my reflections. These stories resonate deeply with me, especially when they begin with a heart so eager, overlooking the warning signs that flicker like distant stars. Yet, in a heartbeat, clarity dawns. It all changes in that pivotal moment when she reveals her truth, and suddenly, everything shifts into focus. In a moment of weakness, I strayed from the path we had carved together. The choices I made, though regrettable, will soon lead me back to freedom, but the echoes of my actions linger, leaving you behind in the shadows of our once bright connection. With a heavy heart, you uttered the word no, and now, as you prepare to leave, those once cherished clothes lie discarded, a testament to what was lost. You flung the suitcase onto the lawn, a symbol of freedom and new beginnings. You can go now, you whispered, your heart heavy yet hopeful. Oh, how could you betray my trust and then casually speak of departure? Your actions, steeped in a selfish and controlling nature, leave me bewildered. It feels as though the warmth of our connection has been overshadowed by a cloud of self-centered behavior, and it is simply unfathomable. Indeed. In a moment of weakness, I strayed from the path we had carved together. In the midst of our tangled emotions, I poured my heart into every moment we shared, believing that a few more weeks would weave our story tighter. But you, with a gentle yet firm resolve, insisted it was time for me to leave. My efforts, my sacrifices, felt like whispers in the wind, overshadowed by the nights you spent laughing with others, while I watched my dreams slip away, one drink at a time. In the quiet corners of the office, whispers of secret romances danced like shadows. The girl, once a bright spark, found herself entwined with a figure shrouded in danger, a dealer of dreams and despair. You watched as her laughter faded, replaced by the haunting allure of a world that pulled her deeper into its embrace. Perhaps the darkness had already whispered to her before, a siren's call she could not resist. It seemed she was caught in a whirlwind of late nights and fleeting encounters, lost in a haze of indulgence and temptation. The thought of her involved with someone incarcerated, shrouded in mystery, raises questions about the secrets they share. What could possibly be unfolding in that hidden world, far from the light of day? I've heard tales of confinement, you all watch Big Herc. Have you ever listened to tales that weave together the threads of life and love? Indeed, we have experienced the magic of cinema. We understand the unfolding drama within those walls. Oh, dear friend, she is placing you in a perilous situation. The very notion that he emerges from the shadows of prison and arrives at your doorstep, amidst the warmth of your family, is unsettling. You remain unaware of the tempest brewing in his heart and mind. He found himself behind bars, a place where shadows danced with secrets. The reasons for his confinement remained a mystery, leaving whispers of uncertainty in the air. Perhaps there was a madness that lingered within him, waiting to be unveiled. In a moment of despair, he felt the weight of his emotions crashing down upon him. The longing for her presence consumed him, igniting a fire of frustration within. He could have reacted in anger, but chose not to in that house. But deep down, he yearned for something more, a chance to reclaim the love he lost. With dreams of a brighter future swirling in his mind, he clung to the hope that someone would believe in him, that someone would help him rise from the shadows of his past. A silent salute to the one who dared to dream alongside him. I'm so relieved you found your way out of that tangled web. When she appeared at your door, pouring her heart out with tales of hurt, you had every right to stand firm and say no, especially after the darkness she cast upon your life. Yet, in a moment of compassion, you chose to let her in, offering her a place to rest on the sofa. It speaks volumes about your strength and kindness. Truly, I'm happy to see you thriving now. Once upon a time, two souls danced through the corridors of life, their hearts intertwined with the lessons of the past. You spoke of a time long ago, perhaps 2 decades or more, when choices were made and paths diverged. In the tapestry of experience, each misstep became a thread of wisdom, weaving a story of growth and understanding. It's beautiful to see how the heart learns, transforming mistakes into stepping stones towards a brighter tomorrow. In the journey of life, it's often said that exploring the hearts of others can illuminate our own path. Each encounter, each lesson learned from the tales of those around us, shapes our own story. And here you are, standing tall, radiating a sense of accomplishment. Your words reflect a blossoming spirit, and I can't help but hope that the lovely souls in your life are thriving as well. A heartfelt salute to you, dear sir. Thank you for sharing this heartfelt message. It filled my heart with joy. It truly captured my heart. Oh, my dear friends, I would be ever so grateful for your thoughts on this heartfelt email. If any of you wish to share your own tale, please send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. I eagerly await your stories, each one a precious gem waiting to be unveiled. I will share it on the screen, and you can reach me at truestorynation@gmail.com. Until we meet again, my friends, take care.